How does blockchain works? Consider a world in which you can send money straight to someone without a bank in seconds rather than days, and without paying expensive bank fees. Most people are aware of Bitcoin, but they don't know how the system behind digital currency actually works, not for only Bitcoin, but for all digital currencies. The whole system of digital currencies is based on blockchains. One might ask, what is blockchain and why everyone's so curious about it? Currently, most people trust that there is a middleman who runs the process of digital currency system, but this technology offers a secure way for individuals to deal directly with each other, without an intermediary like government, banks, or other third party. Blockchain is basically, practically and theoretically known as distributed ledger technology, DLT, which uses decentralization and cryptographic hashing to make the history of any digital asset unalterable and accessible. Because blockchain represents an alternative to old centralized systems, such as the traditional banking and financial system, it is an essential component of many cryptocurrencies. However, it is not simply valuable for cryptocurrencies. As we will see, blockchain has numerous potential applications across various industries and areas. Cryptography is used to connect the expanding list of records, known as blocks. Each transaction is validated independently by peer-to-peer computer networks, time-stamped, and added to a growing data chain. The data cannot be changed once it has been recorded. One of the basic and most important impact of blockchain is that it's an especially promising and revolutionary technology, because it helps reduce risk, stamps out fraud and brings transparency in a scalable way for myriad uses. How does blockchain works? In recent period of time, you may have noticed that the businesses around the world are investing into blockchain technology. But how does blockchain technology actually work? Is this a substantial modification or a little addition? Blockchain innovations are still in its infancy and have the potential to be revolutionary in the future, so let us begin demystifying this technology. Blockchain technology is the combination of 6 features, for example. Number 1, blocks. Every chain is comprised of multiple blocks, each of which contains 3 basic elements. A block consists of data. A 32-bit whole number is said to be nonce. When a block is created, the nonce is generated at random, which results in the generation of a block header hash. The hash is a 256-bit number wedded to the nonce. It must start with a huge number of zeros. A nonce generates the cryptographic hash when the first block of a chain is formed. Unless mined, the data in the block is regarded signed and eternally linked to the nonce and hash. Number 2, miners. Basically, miners are the source to begin the operation of blockchain by creating new blocks through a specific process is well known as mining. Every block in a blockchain has its own unique and essential nonce and hash, but it also refers to the hash of the previous block in the chain, making mining a block difficult, especially on big chains. Miners deploy sophisticated software to solve the extremely complicated math challenge of generating an acceptable hash. Because the nonce is only 32 bits long and the hash is 256 bits long, there are approximately 4 billion nonce hash combinations that must be mined before the right one is identified. When this occurs, miners are believed to have discovered the golden nonce, and their block is added to the chain. Mining also produces the equivalent of a competitive random, preventing any individual from readily adding new blocks to the blockchain in a sequential fashion. As a result, no group or individual has control over what is included in the blockchain or can replace parts of the blockchain to roll back their own spending. Making a change to any previous block in the chain demands remining not only the changed block, but all subsequent blocks as well. This is why manipulating blockchain technology is so tough. Consider it safety in math, because identifying golden nonces takes a significant amount of time and computational power. The ultimate change is accepted by all nodes on network when the block is successfully mined and finally miners awarded financially. Number 3, nodes. After the procedure of mining, there is one of the most important concepts in blockchain technology is decentralization. Every computer and organization have to connect distributor ledger via nodes in the chain instead to own the chain. Nodes can be a major type of electronic device that maintains the copy of blockchain and keep the network functioning. Every node has its own copy of the blockchain, and for the chain to be updated, trusted, and confirmed, The network must algorithmically approve any newly mined block. Because blockchains are transparent, every transaction in the ledger can be easily verified and inspected. Each participant is assigned a unique alphanumeric identification number, which is used to track their transactions. Integrating public information with a system of checks and balances enhances the blockchain's integrity and increases user trust. Blockchains are essentially the scalability of trust through innovation. Cryptographic key. Cryptography keys are made up of two keys, a private key and a public key. These keys aid in the completion of successful transactions between two parties. Each person possesses these two keys, which they use to generate a secure digital authentication reference. The most important aspect of blockchain technology is its secure identity. This identity is known as a digital signature in the domain of Bitcoin and is used for certifying and managing transactions. A peer-to-peer network containing a shared ledger. Combined with the peer-to-peer network, the digital signature allows a huge number of persons who function as authorities to establish a consensus on a variety of topics, including financial transactions. The agreement is validated by a mathematical verification when they give their approval, resulting in a successful secured transaction between the two network-connected parties. For the purposes of summarizing, blockchain users utilize cryptography keys to conduct various forms of digital exchanges through the peer-to-peer network. Immutability. The principle of immutability is at the heart of the blockchain technology. This means that once anything has been placed into the blockchain, it cannot be changed, altered, or tampered with in any manner. This open and transparent record also aids in the prevention of wasteful spending. It's possible that in a perfect environment, this might be beneficial in terms of financial security. Take a moment to consider how many money laundering instances could be stopped in their tracks if people finally realize that corporate accounts would be substantially more difficult to manipulate and that books would no longer be able to be manipulated. However, given the fact that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies such as Monero are still the most popular digital currencies among cybercriminals, it's still uncertain whether this will have the desired good influence on the situation. Transaction process. When using a blockchain, the transaction procedure is both instantaneous and permanent. The data is replicated and saved on each node in the system as it travels over the network. In a blockchain, all of the relevant elements of a transaction are recorded in real time, including the price, ownership, item, and so on. This all happens within seconds, and no third party is involved. Any modifications made to one ledger copy are automatically reflected in all of the other ledger copies as well. Because every transaction is recorded in a transparent manner, there is no need for any third-party verification to take place as a result of the simplicity of the procedure. Conclusion. While the first application of Bitcoin was a financial revolution, blockchain applications have now expanded well beyond banks and finance. Blockchain is being used in a variety of ways by Fortune 500 organizations, major corporations, banking institutions, and governments. Even though blockchain technology is still recognized as one of the most recent discoveries, the sector faces numerous challenges. For example, lots of questions about the scalability of the blockchain network, potential weaknesses, security, and regulatory compliance remain unanswered. Nonetheless, the technology has the potential to change a wide range of industries. We are likely to see practical blockchain advances on the ground in the next 5 to 10 years.